The Valorant winter break is finally over, but during the off-season the EMEA region got caught in a snowstorm of roster changes. Fnatic got started with their rebuild straight after Champions. Doma, who had played for the organisation since the foundation of their Valorant roster, has now been moved aside. An interesting move, as Doma was Fnatic's former star player, who switched to a more supportive role in April to enable Derka to play to his full potential. We will see Doma starting in the qualifier with 10-star from now on. Joining them is G2, who were already planning some changes before the storm truly began. After parting ways with their IGL Coldar mentor as well as Kellogg's, they've picked up Hoodie and Meadow from Giants Gaming. Being invited to the first closed qualifier, they had their way laid out for them, but didn't manage to overcome the opposition.
No way that Alliance closes it out in a 5v5 retake on B side!
After their loss against Alliance, G2 decided they needed another change, bringing Kellogg's back instead of Mixwell. Will this bring the results G2 hoped for in the next open qualifier? Guild didn't make it out of this ferocious storm unscathed either. From the original roster, only Leo and Safe remain, as Draken, Yasin and Bonkar are all no longer on the team. Guild followed the trend of changing their IGL and promptly picked up a new one in the form of Coldar Mentor to fill the void left by Bonkar. He will be joined by Russ from 10-star and Trex from OG. Both finally want to prove themselves by making it into the playoffs with their new team. Yasin and Bonkar are returning to their Valorant roots in the meantime, making a quasi-revival of their first team, Team Bonk. This time, however, they are changing the name to Yonk. Joining them are Machina from Vitality, Cretan from Alliance, and upcoming talent Neela. Whether this mix can live up to the high expectations that their link to Team Bonk brings with them or not will be exciting to see. A side note in the roster mania has to be made for Nip, who saw the oncoming snowstorm and decided to retreat to a warmer region. The whole roster was released as the org is moving over to Brazil, with the aim of picking up a team there. Contrary to Nip, who escaped south, FPX instead embraced the cold and went even deeper into its midst, joining the CIS region with their latest 2 pickups. They rounded out their existing roster of Angel, Shao and Zippen with the addition of former Force player Soigetsu, which brings the CIS membership of the team to a majority. They will be joined by Ardis. The Latvian took a timeout due to his health in June of last year, but is now making his return to professional play, rounding out the roster. Regional rivals Na'Vi continue the trend of changing out in-game leaders by parting ways with Arch. The switch comes due to the feeling that a change-up was needed to elevate the roster to new heights. The addition of JD is supposed to bring a breath of fresh air to the team. The 18-year-old finally gets to play in his native region after his time on NIP. It wasn't only Europe and the CIS that got hit. The warmer parts of the EMEA region also couldn't escape the roster change storm. Supermassive Blaze moved on from 3 of their players after their loss to rival Footballist. Turco and Russ found their new teams in Desire and Giants Gaming respectively. To keep up the seasonal trend, SMB also opted to replace their IGL powerer, who is now playing for BBL Esports. To compensate for the loss of the trio, Cyderex was picked up from Kafalar Esports and fills the IGL void. Joining him are 2 players of regional rival Oxygen Esports. Glovey and Zisto both made the switch after losing to the old iteration of the team in the LCQ. Footballist also made a change, releasing their Sova player Sasuke after results against the EMEA competition didn't go the team's way. Footballist also suffered the loss of one of the best Sentinel players of the region. Sterben will also no longer be representing the team for the coming season. Like SMB did, Footballist also found their replacement on Kafalar Esports in the form of Power. The rookie is joining up with the squad after only 2 months with his previous team. Mr. Farlin rounds out the roster, after showing some good individual performances in recent times. Thankfully for everyone, the storm seems to have died down a little and no big changes have happened with the winners of the Champions stage. We can get into the new season with some great weather and more importantly some incredible matches in EMEA to find out if anyone can beat Ascend this season.